Hey guys, so in this video, I wanted to talk to you about cloning your existing MyListing website for use in additional markets. So let's say, for example, you've spent a good amount of time and money. You've built a beautiful MyListing website, and it's targeting a specific region, like a city or a town, or maybe a specific niche. And you like the design of your website, obviously, and you're okay with reusing most of it, if not all of it, and just, changing a couple things here and there, like, logos and some of the wording. Obviously the domain name would be different and things like that. But as a whole, your design and everything is, you love the way it looks, and you're fine applying that elsewhere. In some cases, like when you're targeting regions, for example, you're probably going to just take the entire design and just tweak a few things, which is what the example I'm going to talk about here in this video. So a real world example, I have a client that I helped them build a MyListing website for a specific city in the United States. And the goal now is to build the same site, replicate it over and over and over again for hundreds of sites here in the United States. So it's a massive undertaking, but it's not as far as the design and the build. So once you get it the first site, we'll call it the blueprint site, to where you want it, the design's there, the functionality's there. It's, the team knows it inside and out, how to support it. And then you've got someone in your corner, like the MyListing Club, me in this case, that can support and do the maintenance and things of that nature. If you're not comfortable with doing that sort of thing, then you are in a perfect spot to just clone your website over and over again, tweak it to the specific region or niche. But in this case, I'm just going to keep talking about region because that's this real world example. And boom, just start hitting all of those markets, building that authority. Your SEO is going to blow up when you link those sites together, and all kinds of good stuff starts to happen. It's why I built the Reach starter site, for example. So that actually, I didn't even anticipate talking about the Reach starter site in this video, but it just literally just came to my mind as I'm doing this video for you. Let me pull that site up. It's part of the reason why I created it. I was actually going to do it as a business, and it's just a time thing. I still think it would be a great business if someone wanted to take it on. But the goal originally was to build this called, as you see here, it's called the Online Directory Network here in the browser tab. And the idea was to link directories together so that everybody can be aware of other people's directories that you trust. It's not necessarily linking every directory in the world together. It's linking directories together that have a common goal or a common customer base. So like weddings, for example. So if you have a photography website or a catering website or venues, or, whatever, events, then the goal was to connect all of those together so that everybody has a trusted resource to go to. So that was the goal of this site originally. And then because I didn't have time to run with it, I just flipped it over and created a starter site from it, which is what you see here. And it's, I'm not going to go too far in depth with it, but as it says here, connect with other directories, boost incoming traffic, improve SEO, and generate leads. So on the left hand, you've got like a local directory, which is what we're going to be talking about in this video, a region. And then on the right-hand side, you can connect with pet directories, events, travel, whatever, and just kind of build that network. In this particular case, we're going to be talking about a local directory on the left side and then a local directory on the right side, and then, multiple versions of that. Okay. Anyway, I thought it'd be cool just to show this starter site. That's what this was intended for, is to build something like that network I'm about to show you or talk to you about. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close this down. The guide in this video that I'm going to be working from, you can get it from the MyListing Club website. That's mylisting.club. Go up here under the menu, resources, and depending on when you see this video, you might need to click on guides and then find this one right here. clone a MyListing based business for use in another market. So again, in this real world example, I've got a client, they've got a website that targets a specific city in the United States. That site is built, it's functioning the way they want, the design is right where they want it. It's time to enter into other markets. Okay. So this is the guide we're going to be working from. I've got it pulled up on my other screen. So we're just going to walk through it together. Okay. So I've already ran down the scenario that my client's going through. Again, real world example here. We've worked together. We've built this MyListing based business. I've given you all that. So what I'm going to show you with this guide is how to do this with efficiency and cost in mind. That's the burning question we're going to answer with this guide. Now, how do we do this quickly, efficiently, with money? Thinking about the money, the cost of replicating all of this stuff. That's what we're going to be talking about. Okay, website cloning. So you've got the website, like I said, fully built, ready to go. Cloning a website for use in another market can be cost-effective. Be a cost-effective way to expand a business's reach. Now you see, like that website, I called it reach. That's the same thing. Expand a business's reach into new markets. It allows businesses to reuse existing content and infrastructure while making necessary modifications to suit the new market's requirements. Excuse me. A high level there is you're targeting a city. That city may have its own specific theme. So let's just take like a random thing. If you're familiar with Louisiana in the United States, they've got their own vibe, their own culture, things of that nature. So if you were to clone a site that was built for Louisiana, a city in Louisiana, then what would that look like if you cloned it and you put it in a major city like New York or Chicago or something like that? Would you need to change the vibe a little bit? Chances are, yeah, probably you would. Okay. So that's what that means. The process of cloning a website involves several steps, which I've outlined in this guide for you at a high level. This guide is going to be an ongoing, living, breathing thing as I go through this process with this client, building out all of these MyListing websites. Now I've done this myself. So I cloned sites, built them for different markets. So I knew going into this how to do it already. So that was a bonus for this client. But I never actually documented the process that I took and everything. So that's what this is. It's a living, breathing. As we go along, it's going to be, I'm going to be updating it to help everybody else that might be interested in this. Okay, so the first step is original website analysis. The first step is to analyze the original website and identify whether it has a majority of the needed features and functionalities that will be common across the new markets. This website will be your blueprint. So this is the site we've already created for this client. It's ready to go. It's the blueprint. We need to analyze that and see what needs to be changed once it's cloned. If anything at all. There's going to be some things you just can't avoid. The domain name, like I said, the name of the site, the logo, things like that. Maybe not even the logo. It just depends on how the logo is built. Website hosting. Ensure you have available installs in your hosting plan to accommodate future websites. So this particular client is hosting on the club's Kinsta plan. So I'm going to show you what that's all about. So, and how to clone it and what all of that entails. But because they are hosting with the club's plan, they don't have to worry about the number of installs. That's my responsibility. So they just say, hey, Ryan, we're going into another market. We need another install, or we need to clone the site. You take care of all of the infrastructure for us. Set that up. I'm going to show you how easy that is. Number 3, solution licensing. Ensure you have the required licensing for any premium solution. So SaaS, WordPress themes that you're using. In this case, we're obviously using MyListing. So WordPress plugins, etc. Be sure to check the club's deals or the licensing, including with your MyListing website care plan before purchasing. So this particular client also has website care with me, and they're going to have that with, as far as I know, they're going to have that with every site that we build together. So they've already got most of their licensing covered. But let's just say they didn't have the care plan. the club has a deals page where you can get tons of deals from WordPress vendors, and even non-WordPress vendors. There's just all kinds of deals that they could go and they could save money. Okay. The last point here on the solution licensing: buy in bulk where it makes sense, such as lifetime deals for multiple websites. So if you're thinking long-term here, when you go to purchase those licensing and you think, hey, I need to build hundreds of websites, quickly for these different markets before someone else gets to those markets, you want to be the leader in those markets. So when you go to look at those pricing plans for plugins, it's like, let's just say Elementor Pro, for example. Does it make sense for me to buy one for one site, a license for one site? Does it make sense to get in at the best deal possible for 25 sites, 100 sites, 1,000, whatever that may be? So you got to think about that. So that's it for solution licensing. Step number 4, clone your website. After your blueprint is ready to go, which this client's blueprint is it's time to perform the actual cloning of your website. I cover that. I cover the steps in the next section for that. So the next section of this guide, I'm going to show you how to do that easily. Number 5, website customization. Based on the analysis of the original website and the target market, the cloned website is customized to suit the new market's requirements. This includes modifying the website's content, design, and layout to appeal to the target audience. So again, if you built the site initially for something in a city in Louisiana that's got a certain vibe to it, you want to bring that into New York or Chicago, it's got a totally different vibe, then that's the thing that you might want to address. For my client scenario, we need to address things related to the specific city, like domain name, the region, like the neighborhoods, taxonomy, URLs, pages, and that sort of thing. So, So next up is localization. The website is then localized by translating the content to the target market's language and adapting it to the local culture and customs. For my client scenario, we're simply cloning the website for a different city in the United States. So the language is the same. This step really doesn't really come into play. Okay. So, but if you were cloning your website into like another country, so you build it in the United States and then you want to clone it in wherever, Australia, Africa, whatever, you got to think about translating the language. Then it's called, localization, and vice versa, whether maybe you're coming from Australia and coming into the United States, that sort of thing. Number 7, apply solution licensing. Assign the required licensing for any premium solutions. So this is just simply saying, once you clone the site, go into it, make sure you've assigned all those licensing, okay? The licenses. Number 8, testing and launching. After customization and localization, the website is tested to ensure it functions correctly and meets the target market's requirements. Once testing is complete, the website is launched in the new market. So that's just a fancy way of saying you've cloned the website, you've licensed it, test everything before the launch, and you launch it, okay? Number 9, website care. Managing multiple websites is not easy. So you got to think about this. At this point, you've got a minimum of 2 sites, your blueprint and now the one that you've cloned, and you plan to do more, most likely. All right. So you got to think about this. Managing multiple websites is not easy, especially when you need to focus on the business itself. So you need to grow these things. You can't just put them out there and think that they're going to generate revenue on their own. You got to market them, advertise, set up a community for them. You got to grow the business. You got to be there to support the questions that are coming in, all of that sort of thing. And you can't really do that effectively, in my opinion, if you're trying to learn how to do website care, or maybe even know how to do website care, and it's just, that's eating into your time. But once you get multiple sites, let's say 5 or 10 of these ramped up, you don't want to be spending all of your time troubleshooting issues, updating plugins, themes, whatever. Okay. So that's what I'm trying to say here. Also, it's very important that you protect the investment, the time and the money you've made in these websites and businesses. So you've put all this time, this energy, this money into all of these. I mean, what happens if something catastrophic goes wrong? Like, you're not familiar with how to secure websites. You're putting it on crappy hosting that doesn't have good security, or your websites are slow. So you've built all these great websites and put them into new markets, but they're not usable, they're hacked, they're, you got to think about all of those things, right? What is your time worth? So that's where I say, consider MyListing Website Care, where I will take care of all these sites for you, as I will for this client. I take care of all the technology so they can just focus on building the business side of things, okay? Okay, so let's get into the cloning of the website. My client's plan from the beginning was to use the original site as a blueprint, cloning it over and over again for use in other cities. And since they are hosting their website with my preferred web host, that's Kinsta, cloning it will be much easier. There are many ways to go about cloning a website, but for the purposes of this guide, I will continue documenting the exact process they're taking to clone their websites in a matter of minutes. So this is the process that I take cloning websites. This is the process I do for my own sites that I've built for different markets. Okay. It's super simple. And like I said, there are other ways to do it. There are plugins out there that duplicate websites, clone websites, but I'm going to show you a super simple way with Kinsta, which if you're not familiar with it, the club has a deal to get on the club's plan, save money, get an enterprise 3-level Kinsta plan for the price of less than their starter plan. So definitely check that out. Okay. So here I am over in Kinsta, and I've got this website. It's called Sandbox. It's just a sandbox in my listing website. So what we're going to do was pretend like this Sandbox site is fully built out. It's exactly what we want. We love it. Now it's time to bring this into another city. You would just jump into your Kinsta dashboard here. Let's also assume here one of two things. You have your own Kinsta account with multiple installs available to you, or you're on the club's plan and you just say, hey, Ryan, I've purchased another, when you purchase Kinsta through the club, you're going to get an onboarding form and you fill it out. And once I get it, I'll add your site. But you could also say in the notes for the form, hey, Ryan, I purchased another Kinsta. Please clone this site for me. So this is how it would look for whether you have the Kinsta plan of your own or you go through the club. So you come in here. And I would actually do this. If you're on the club's plan, this is what I would do. If you had your own Kinsta plan, this is how you would do it. Okay. So you would just come up here under add service, click WordPress site, and you're going to have these options. You're going to say clone existing environment. So we're going to choose that, click continue here. Okay. Environment to clone. So you choose whatever website you want to clone. Obviously you want to clone the live site. You give it a name. We'll call this Sandbox New City. You can't choose your data center when you clone it. But once the site is installed, you just jump on a support chat with Kinsta and say, hey, can you relocate this to the data center of your choice? Okay. So that's all you do there. And then you click continue. That's it. And it's spinning up, and it's just that easy, like seconds. You can have this done. I mean, obviously, if you want to change the data center location, that takes another minute or so. But you see, you don't have to install any plugins. You don't have to worry about, hey, did the data copy over successfully? Any of that stuff. It's just super, super quick. And then the beauty of it is you're on Kinsta. So it's some of the world's best hosting you're on already. So it's just that easy. So yeah, at this point, the new website will be spinning up as we see here. Continue on with the steps below after the site is created. So this usually takes, depending on the size of the website, just a few minutes. I talked about the data center. So once this is done, request a new data center if you optionally. I've gone into that. Okay, so let's go back here. Let's just pretend this is the website that we've cloned and it's ready to go. So that's this first one right here. We're going to click into that. Select your new site from your Kinsta dashboard, which we just did. We want to go to domains. And then in here, when it's the clone site, it won't have a domain ready to go. Like you'll need to add that production domain. So you just add domain, add your production domain in here, drop that in. And then what else? Well, follow the Kinsta will give you easy instructions to set up the DNS records. You'll go here and you'll say, set this domain as my primary. And what else? Yeah, so make it your primary domain. Once that comes up, let me see. This should get done really quick. I'd like to show you this, exactly how this will go. We'll see how fast this comes back. So let's give this about 30 seconds and see if it comes back. If it doesn't, I'll just continue on with the rest of this. So pardon my silence. I'm just going to stay silent while we give this a second to see if it comes back. Okay, I'm going to do one more refresh, and if it's not back, we'll just continue on here. Okay, it's not there. So let's go back to the site. Pretend this is the one we just had. It's cloned. This is the site we need to configure now. Let's go back into domains. And there's a guide too in the club for Keensta. All of this is covered. So this isn't, this is all available already. So let's say you set this, you put in your new domain for your new city that you're targeting. You say make primary domain. And when you do that, you're going to have this option to run a search and replace. This is one of the really awesome keys. My client was really excited once I told him that this happened. So we put in the domain for their new city. We click this button and it replaced all of those URLs in one shot with the new domain of the new city. And then you click make primary here. He's just going to run through and make all of those changes for you. And it's done, a matter of minutes. It's really awesome. Okay. So a bit of housekeeping here. So once you clone the site and then you go in to let's go into this new site here. It looks like it's done. Okay, let me go in here and I will show you this, what I'm talking about. Damn, I don't think I have. Let me go. Let me get WooCommerce subscriptions installed here real quick. All right, so let me get this installed, and I think this will show you what we need to see here. It didn't. How could I show you? So if I go into the staging environment I'd have to create a staging environment. Damn. Anyway, so the housekeeping is once you clone a site, you're going to be on the WooCommerce subscriptions plugin is going to realize that you are not, particularly set up for production yet. So it's going to have a message that says, enabling. There'll be a message in the dashboard for enabling automatic payments. It's important that you do not enable automatic payments until you have cleared out all of the WooCommerce orders. So your Blueprint website, MyListing website, has been online for a while. It's taking orders, and some of those are subscriptions, right? So once you clone your Blueprint site into the new city, those subscriptions are still going to live in that new site. So you got to be sure. I just put this note in there for housekeeping. You got to be sure you go in there and clear out those subscriptions before you enable those payments, enable automatic payments with WooCommerce. Otherwise, you're gonna be in a lot of trouble with that. So I give you the steps on how to do that here in this guide. This looks about 13 steps total for doing the housekeeping. So I'll just run through these really, really quickly. Posts, delete all and empty the trash. Users, delete all except the admin and editor accounts and empty the trash. Listings, delete all and empty the trash. Comments, delete all, empty the trash. Media, delete any images that don't apply to the new market and empty the trash. So one of those, for example, maybe your logo is the same. There's nothing unique in the logo that targets a specific city. So in that case, you probably keep your logo around, for example. So something to keep in mind there. Subscriptions, delete all orders. So WooCommerce, orders. Once you delete the orders, that also deletes the subscription. So you get that all in one shot. Products, delete any products that don't apply to the new market and empty the trash. Most of the time, the products are going to apply across the board. Maybe the names, maybe you need to change the name of the title of the products. Or let's say, for example, you're selling t-shirts that say that specific city's name in there. Okay. Then, obviously that product needs to be updated. WooCommerce status. So if you go into here, WooCommerce and status, I give you a number of things to clear out in here. So under tools, you're going to want to clear out the WooCommerce transients, the expired transients, clear all the customer sessions, clear the product vendors transients if you're using the WooCommerce product vendors plugin, and then clear the analytics cache. So all it is just running through here and clicking those buttons and you're good to go. So we've cloned the site. We've got the new domain in place. Then this housekeeping, you just run through all this quick checklist for the housekeeping. And at that point, you've got a clean website ready to design, like customize the design to match the new target city that you're going after. Okay. I mean, it was, I don't know what, minutes. I mean, I had their site cloned following this exact process. I had this site cloned. I did all their DNS, all the housekeeping, all of that stuff. And I mean, it was minutes that they were ready to rock and do what they needed to do on the business side. It was just a really cool thing. Okay, new market build. Instead of listing all of the steps out here, I will share the resources I would use for this part of the process. So again, I've done all this. You have done all this stuff where you've cloned the site. It's ready to go. It's ready to be customized for the new market build. Essentially, it's the same steps you took to build the first website, but much of the work has already been done for you as part of the cloning process. So the next thing I'm going to recommend to you is the MyListing project template. So you might say, hey, I've already done this, but not so fast. If you go to the MyListing project template, there's still things that you need to do at a very granular level. And it can't just be that you clone the site and think that stuff is getting done. There's still a lot more to do. That's where this really comes into play. Just to give you one example, time zone. Your time zone is, if it changes, that's one small task of a subtask of this project board here. I added this recently to the product page here. This is a GIF that shows the project board at a glance here. So rather than, I highly still recommend looking at the full walkthrough, but if time's of the essence, you can see just how much value is in here, how granular I get with the steps on this thing. And you just want to run through this. It's super, super low priced. And if you're a member, you get it even cheaper. If you're on the care plan, you get it for free. It allows you to not have to worry about whether you've taken care of a step. It walks you through every step of the way and allows you to check all of those boxes. Okay. So I highly recommend you pick this up as part of this process. So this particular client, and any client that was on my care plan in this situation, they just said, Ryan, I'm going to buy another Kinsta slot. This is the site I want to clone. I've signed up for website care. I dropped in this project template for them, and we were just off and running. Okay, it was really slick. Data import. If you have data from a spreadsheet that you've been building up in anticipation for the next city or the next city or the next city, you now need to import that data. And that's one of the reasons why I created the import export service. The export import service. Let me pull this up here. So that is this service from the club. This is a service that I just can't recommend it enough. It's getting rave reviews. Just definitely check that out. You can get to it from the homepage of the club website or through the menu here by going to services. But you've got that data, let's say, in a spreadsheet, and you're ready to bring that in to your cloned website. This is the way that you could do it. Moving on down, let's talk about costs. These costs reflect those using the club's product services. So your costs may differ. So if you have no interest in the club, like you watched this video and you're like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. I have no interest in the club though. I'm going to do all this on my own. But in this case, what I'm going to tell you is if you are interested in going through the club, your costs, right? MyListing Web Care, $99 to $149 a month, depending on which plan you go with. Or you can just go straight, get on the club's Kinsta plan. That is $30 a month. Again, cheaper than going straight to Kinsta. And you get Enterprise 3 level power that you normally would have to spend. It's around $1,500 a month just to get that power, that PHP worker level power and PHP memory allocation level. So it's just a no-brainer, in my opinion, to get on Club's Kinsta plan. Whether you do it directly through the plan or you go on Website Care, which includes Kinsta, okay? So that's the prices for those. The MyListing project template, worst case is $20. It's free in some cases. It's 50% off. In some cases, it just depends on your level of membership. But even if you had to pay $20, it pays for itself right away. If you need me to help, MyListing website support, $99 an hour if you are on if you're a Website Care client. If you're not a Website Care client, it's $150 an hour. I will help you build your site. I'll help you do the clone process, all of the technology, the DNS, the domain, like everything, right? And then that MyListing export import service is $50 an hour. So very affordable there. So that's how I can help you in this process. So going on through the guide, it elaborates on MyListing Website Care. I think I've covered that enough. Other than to say, again, it includes Kinsta, includes a huge premium plugin library. So think about the cost there. Small tasks are included. Turn off my phone there. Apologize for that. Project template, I've already shown you. Website support, I've covered that in the export import service. Okay, so that's it for this video. I hope you found it useful. If you're at this stage of the game and this is something that you are doing or considering doing, then congratulations. Yeah, that's an awesome spot to be in. Yeah, I just very excited for you if you are in that position. Once you start hitting these other markets, I feel like, yeah, it's a home run from then on. As long as you got the team behind you, it's very important that you have the team behind you. Not just the technology, but the business side of things. Yeah, team is really important. Again, thanks for watching. Hope you found this useful. And please remember to subscribe. That means a lot. That helps me out. Keeps me motivated to doing these videos going forward. And yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.